You're looking to be more creative and innovative? And one of the keys to unlocking your potential is an entrepreneurial mindset. I like to say permission granted. No one is successful overnight.
Keep on keeping on.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are at in the world. Today is the 30th day of 31 days to Pata 2. One more day to go. It's been an exceptional journey. Reconnected with a lot of really good friends, met some new friends along the way, and have been coaching and supporting businesses from all backgrounds and all over the world throughout this entire show. This morning, I was making pancakes with my son, Zane. Makes him happy. Only the second time he's eating pancakes, so he's learning the power of the first lumpy pancake. And I was thinking today, as I was reflecting upon our world, and I made the mistake of going online and looking at news and catching up on what's going on, particularly here in the U.S. And I want to use a real example now of what it means to get mad and make a difference. There's a lot of mad people out there right now. It's predictable. It's been building, particularly the racism here in the U.S. This man being killed by a police officer, murdered, and it's just reaching ahead. And I think it hurts people and it upsets them, and it's reached a point where, there's nowhere else to go but to create violence and express themselves through violence. And that's the only avenue they have at this time to be able to make that work. Excuse me one second. I turned something on I need to turn off. And this anger, this frustration people have, this people getting mad, I like to turn that around and turn getting mad to make a difference. And so when you're mad, you get blinded. You can't see. You're you're focused on what you're upset about. But those opportunities and that anger, that energy from that frustration and being mad has the potential to make a positive difference, to make a difference. So when you get mad, think about it as, how can I make a difference? How can I do something to change the way things are? And this gets me to what we've heard over and over again on this show, over and over again, from some of the brightest and best minds. And yesterday we heard it from Gordon Rudo. And we've heard it from Gary Schoeniger. We've heard it from Risha Grant. You got to have a compelling goal. And so use this anger, use this frustration, use this maddening situation to make a difference and create a compelling goal. And then use that goal to move forward, to create constructive, positive change. That will keep you going. And then what you want to do is enroll and motivate as many people as you can into your compelling vision, goal, and dream. And create a movement around this. This is how you can make change. There has never been a better time than right now to make this kind of positive change. Burning down your own houses, burning down your own backyard is not the answer to this. And I know that there's anger been brewing, anger been growing, madness happening. But you've got to figure out a way to take that being mad into making a difference. And the difference is when you can come up with a compelling goal and vision and dream that moves you forward, that you can enroll and motivate people to be part of. This is how you put a dent in the universe. As I've said from the very beginning, day one, there's never been a better time to put a dent in the universe and make a difference and follow your dreams and create the kind of change you can imagine. In this case, the end of racism, the end of bigotry, the end of being unjust to a selection of people and not others. So when you get mad, remember that's an opportunity to make a difference. take that energy, take that potent, powerful energy and focus it onto engaging, enrolling, and motivating other people into your compelling vision, and then move it forward and make a difference in your community, in your life, and in the world. All right, Amy, that's my inspirational talk this morning. Who's our first guest? Jonathan.
I'm having a question.
How are you doing today?
Sir.
Good to see you.
I'm good, sir.
Where are you?
I see you too.
Where are you?
Yes.
Where?
I'm good, sir. I am in Uganda, Kampala.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here today. What's your question?
Yeah. My question is this. After living in my community for a long time, I have come to realize that many children didn't get success of going to school because of lack of money. I have decided to open a school, a community school, which can help those children to get access of education. After opening it, you know yourself, in the refugee settlement, parents are not willing to pay. They consider everything must be free. So this is the big challenge that I face. Though I've opened a school, but they don't consider it as a school which can change the community. They just want free things. However, I employ teachers, they need to be paid. So this is where I get stuck sometimes, even to build other classes. So it becomes a big challenge to me, because I'm willing to help my community members, but the problem that I face, parents are not willing to pay so that the vision, we can push it forward.
Let me ask a couple questions, Jonathan. So, what kind of curriculum, what kind of education are you providing? What are you teaching the kids?
We are using a Uganda curriculum.
No, but what are you teaching? What skills? What curriculum? What type of education? Math, English, writing, computers? What are you teaching?
Yeah, we are teaching English. We teach all subjects required in Uganda schools: English, mathematics, social studies, literacy, and everything.
Mm-hmm. There's other people trying to teach similar curriculum within the different environments you're educating in. There's a lot of people who are trying who are providing educational tools and resources, right? There's a number of people out there doing this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Jonathan, I'm going to ask now. What can you do to differentiate yourself, to create more value for the parents to be willing to pay for their children to go through your school?
Yeah, first of all,
I'll stop.
First of all, I should have a good reputation in the community, and I do have it. The second one, I used to advertise my school through painting, because I remember this year, before starting this year, I painted some design on the school, and it attracted for really parents to bring their children. And after that, I have also to provide quality education, because these children that are learning from our school, they will be great leaders of tomorrow. So we have to teach them in the good way so that they can feel comfortable. I do all those things and I innovate, but the problem, the parents are not willing to pay. That's the problem.
Yeah, so what I've discovered is when people aren't willing to pay, well, first of all, there is a mindset of, handouts or give it away in some of the communities you're working in, right? They just expect things.
Yeah.
They've been given so much in their lives, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Nothing against giving them stuff, because I get it, I understand, and I'm not against it. But parents, because of that, that's one thing, that's one element, right? That they're not used to paying, and then there's also lots of choices that they can go to get it for free. They can get it for free from lots of different people who are offering education and schooling out there. And so that's two knocks against you in this space, right? Because now they get stuff for free, they expect it. Two, they can find it for free, right? So I'm going to go over the vision board right now, and I want to draw something for you, okay, Jonathan? That I think it's an idea. I'm going to give you an idea, just an idea.
Okay.
That I think
yes
would help you. And I've thought about starting a university or schools in Africa myself, because I see it as a big market and a big opportunity.
Wow.
Because a lot of the education, most of the education that I see is very traditional, and it could even be 20, 30 years old. I saw some books in a school, and I thought, oh my
You're
God.
definitely right, anyway.
Stuff when I was in elementary school. So it's outdated. A lot of it's outdated as well. So these are important things. And so this helps drive free because it's not compelling. It's not new. It's not fresh. I'm not getting what I need, right? Here's what I'm going to suggest as a concept. This is an idea. I'm giving it to you, no cost. This is the idea. What I'm trying to do here, Jonathan, is focus on creating extra and improved value that compels somebody to say, I'm going to pay for that. I'm not going to pay for that, because I'm going to give you something I think people will pay for in Africa. Not everybody, but a lot of people would. And that is, you want to have like an entrepreneurial school. Okay. Now I launched a startup college, startup college in Sharjah near Dubai once, and I tell you, people will gravitate to this much easier, much faster. But instead of providing curriculum, and you can pick up all this curriculum off the internet, so you don't even have to invent this curriculum. Teach them how to develop a website. Teach them how to build a team, build teams.
Yeah.
Teach them how to program.
Yeah.
Teach them how to sell. You see any of that has reading and writing or math in it as the subject, but all of them, finance. We want to, cash flow here. Here's cash flow. Yeah, these are the most important things for people to learn. And been working on a startup high school concept, and this is the direction that I'm going. And I think that if you were to move in this direction and flip and not be like everybody else, but be completely different, in this case, an entrepreneurial school, you're learning the entrepreneurial mindset. You're learning how to think and behave like an entrepreneur. It doesn't mean you're going to start a business here. This is program. This is like software, right? If you went in this direction, you would be able to charge. People would pay, and you would be the first mover in this space in your area to do this, because it doesn't exist right now. Again, you can find this curriculum, everything I've got here, online. You could pluck it from online, because I'd go for the stuff that's free. People are, open sourced their curriculum, their courses in all these different areas, that you would be able to run a different kind of school that would be compelling and would people would pay for who normally wouldn't pay. What do you think, Jonathan?
Okay.
What do you think? What are you thinking?
It's really wonderful. It's really wonderful.
You think
I will try to work on them, and I think that I will improve.
Look, you want a little timeline? I can give you a little timeline. You want me to help you develop a timeline that would help you know some of the steps to take? You want me to help you? You might be. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little timeline, so you can go back and watch this. Here we go. Remember, I like to work in 1 week, 1 month, 6 month time frames. 1 week, 1 month, 6 month time frames. That continues on forever. but I'm able to digest it in weekly, monthly, and 6-month time frame. So I never really am looking out much past 6 months. And in terms of the actionable steps I take, it's within a 6-month period. I'm renewing it every 6 months, by the way. So around the time I'm getting to 6 months, I'm creating my next 1 week, 1 month, 6-month action plan based upon where I progressed, hopefully moving things forward. Here we go. 1 week, 1 month, 6 months. Doesn't matter what the business is. It doesn't matter what the endeavor is. It could be a personal thing. It could be a wedding. You can still work this way. 1 week, 1 month, 6 months. Now, what you need to do, number one thing you need to do is start searching and finding open sourced curriculum that aligns with the entrepreneurial, with programming, website development, team building, cash flow. That's math. Cash flow is math. Writing, you have to learn to write when you're doing programming, so you're learning digital literacy. So it's new kind of literacy, call it digital literacy. But you need to search Google for open source curriculum. Search Google. And then what you're going to do, you're going to package it. Package curriculum. That'll go on forever. That's why that timeline goes on. You'll still be packaging, and so you'll start making your own. You'll have other people show up and start being part of what you're wanting to do. It'll grow over time. Next thing you want to do is figure out your promo strategy. You want to have a promotion strategy? And start moving this way. Remember, I talked about as digital literacy. It's the entrepreneurial literacy, whatever you want to call it, entrepreneurial mindset. Focus in on that entrepreneurialness, entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurialism helps support people to develop problem-solving skills, increase their resilience, help them think more creatively, right? This is helping them be more valuable citizens. Parents want to pay for this. Plus, you could even market it, invest in your retirement plan, your kids, right? Their kids are their retirement plan, and if they help them become entrepreneurs and invest in them to be entrepreneurs, then maybe when they retire, these kids will be their retirement plan because they'll have a big business. So you could kind of have fun with that, idea. I think fund your retirement plan. I like this. Oh my God, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Okay, and then what you want to be doing here, Jonathan, is building your team, right? You want to build a team. This never ends too, but these are like people who know how to, who are excited about what you're doing, excited about your direction, motivated to be with you, are mission driven and see the opportunity. Yeah. Not people who want to steal your idea or take what you're doing, because it would take quite a bit for somebody to be able to compete with you on this level, because you would be so far ahead, and most people don't know how to figure this kind of thing out. But this timeline here, it's rough, but it gives you the core elements to work on to be able to move forward. I just think there's so much open source curriculum out there and so many people giving this away that you can pull that now, repackage it, and sell it and drive it as a business within Uganda. What do you think? Are you going to be able to do this?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, I will be able. I have another question.
Just okay?
Yeah.
I'm giving you a hard time. What's the question?
Can I ask another question?
Please, one more.
I'm passionate in education on the area of children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm passionate in education on the area of children.
How old?
And I believe that every child has right to education, because how old am I?
No. How old are the children you're teaching?
I am 20 years old.
How old are the children you're teaching?
I have 3 years.
Are they 3-year-old?
It depends on the class, because we have baby class up to 6 months.
Up to what?
There are some who are 3, some are
Okay, so they're young, very young.
I'm saying this. We are teaching children.
So this is perfect
We are
because
teaching children from baby class up to P5.
yeah, this is great. So these kids you can teach them how to develop ideas, right? These kids are ripe. They're already full of ideas. They're full of different wonder. Help them understand, and there's curriculum out there for kids on how to develop open source curriculum on how to develop ideas and help kids think through how to problem solve. It helps them to be stronger and smarter as they get older. And parents, I believe parents will pay for this because, again, you're doing something different and you're helping them move forward. And every kid does deserve this. Every child deserves this in our school system. And what we've heard on this, Jonathan, is that our school system hasn't changed since the 1800s, basically. And it's a factory system, and we're teaching creativity out of them. So you have an opportunity to keep that creativity in them and show the world how smart and brilliant and dedicated and inventive these children are by giving them the tools that they don't receive almost everywhere around the world. It's just rare to receive the kind of tools we're talking about.
Yeah.
Jonathan, let's check back in. We're gonna move on to somebody else now. But you've got some good ideas here to work with.
Yeah.
How did we meet? Before we go, how did we meet? Did we meet through refugee work or Startup Cup Uganda?
We meet on Startup Uganda when you came in Nakiva.
Right, we ran an EcoBoost where we did an entrepreneurial ecosystem design enhancements program. Okay, great. You see what I'm saying though, and you've got a real opportunity here. We're going to follow up with you. I want to see how this progresses because this is big. It could be, has potential. Bye, Jonathan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Great.
I'm happy for that.
You have a great smile, Jonathan. It makes me smile. Well, that was interesting, huh? I think that there's so much opportunity within education to reinvent it. Here we are today doing a kind of education program that just leads to more entrepreneurial-based education. Throw out everything else, and you can actually teach writing through communications, strategic communications, promotional development, math through your cash flow and finances. And so you can get all the core skills, but the more important skills that people need are the skills of how to interact with people, how to collect people, how to enroll and motivate people, how to build a team. No one's teaching people how to do this. They have to learn it on their own. And so if everybody knew how to do that, think about the mobilization you could make in terms of when you get mad about something and you really want to make a difference, not just get mad, make a difference. You can mobilize people because you know how to collect people and get people excited and motivated around your vision. That's how we started this program. And I think that this gentleman, Jonathan's on his way. Okay, Amy, who's next? Carrie.
Hey.
You're looking great today.
Hey, thanks.
I wake up and I go, oh boy, my hair. Whew.
I took a shower today. It was my
one day, sometime, some point. Well, it's good to see you again.
Yeah.
For those that don't know out there, Carrie and I did a coaching session yesterday. She won one of the coaching sessions, one of those one-on-one sessions, and it was really good. Let me ask you, what's happened since yesterday, 3 p.m. when we left each other? Where are we at with this project of yours?
Well, I haven't slept. No, I kid. I was really excited, though. I probably only slept 2 or 3 hours just because my brain would not stop after we got done. So I've got a really long list of names that are for the idea. A couple of shortlisted ones already.
How did Andrew, your husband, take this? Is he excited too?
Well, he doesn't know yet. I haven't had an opportunity to bring him in and let him know all of the exciting stuff that he'll be doing. I'm kidding.
Remember, he has to be excited about it too, or otherwise he's just doing it because he feels like he has to versus he wants to. And you want him to do this because this is real. This is like real business here.
Definitely.
You think you're going to make the 2-week mark?
I think so.
And the list of people you got are the first customers?
I've got 2 on that list so far, but I just figured out at about 2 a.m. how to search for statuses on Facebook. So that's on the docket for today.
Do you have any other questions for me now that you've slept or haven't slept and have been thinking and drawing and writing? And what questions are coming up that would be really important to overcome or try to solve right now?
Well, before I do have a couple of questions, but before we get to that, I did want to say, Jonathan, I watched Jonathan just a few minutes ago with you, yes. And I love what he's doing, and I would love to try to help connect him with some people who teach coding to kids already.
Right.
So I think that would be really awesome to be able to connect. Yeah, absolutely.
What we want, though, in this situation is that he somehow is providing that through his services. So it's an affiliate type of program. So he's generating revenue is the key here.
Yeah, this is all nonprofit. So just connecting him with some folks that have resources that he could just use because they've already.
We'll make that happen. That's great, and I really appreciate that. You know, it's one of those things where I guess 2000. I've worked in a lot of rough spots on the planet and some beautiful ones. But I started working in refugee settlements, which I've been trying to for years. It's very difficult to get into that space. And we got into it in 2018, I think after 3 years of effort with just this one project, 3 years. Wow. And now it's kicking up, and I knew it would once we got in there, but it changed my life in a way that is so profound that, you know, you can never go back. And the people who are in those environments by no choice of their own, majority, right? Leaving dangerous environments or near death, situations, that they are some of the hungriest, most motivated and most driven people I've ever experienced. And we just need to give them a little bit of more knowledge to give them 100% agency to take control of their lives instead of it being a situation where they're completely dependent upon everybody. They don't want to be dependent, and they want that knowledge. And so I do appreciate your willingness to help out, Carrie.
Absolutely. It goes back to what you were saying when you first started this off this morning, making a difference and figuring out a way to enroll people in positive change. I mean, it's all about that giving back and paying forward, and it all comes around.
It's so important. And today more than ever, right? We just got to remember that. And there's a lot of pain out there and a lot of fear and at a level, that we've never experienced. It's like a whole global situation. So it's a miraculous time to be alive. I'm not negative. It's a positive. We got to stay positive, and we got to keep moving towards action and helping people. People need to realize they can make a difference. It's just not violence. Violence is not the way to go at all. And it's easy. It's easy to get violent. It's hard not to. And so,
yeah.
Thanks for reinforcing that.
Absolutely. Thank you. It was very inspirational already this morning. I had my coffee and my notebook already and ready to work.
Good. That's what I hope for. And Jonathan was great as well. Jonathan has a really good idea. He's got his intentions around education are good. He just needs to really think differently about it in terms of just leapfrog, move past all that 1800 stuff. Now we're going to be into 20. We're going to move into the future, and education's not the same. And if he can just write the skills, those kids will start making money. Bam, and they'll change. It'll be a much more. It'll create stronger community in the end.
Don't we all need that right now? For sure.
For sure. Right. Okay, what's your question, Carrie?
Oh man, where to start?
The most difficult one. Your hardest question. Let's go with that one.
My hardest question right now is the top of my list, which is naming it. I mean, I can probably go down that rabbit.
I go crazy for naming. So it's like a fetish. Naming and logos. I just love it. It's
Me too.
I'm so excited. And I've been thinking about your business a little bit in my dreams. And so
In your dreams, that's funny.
you want to do a name storm?
Yes, please.
Let's do a name storm. All right. Let's
But I just be aware that I come prepared.
This is our first name storm.
Where is it at? Let
This
me
is our
just
first
show
name
you
storm
that.
on the show.
These are my lists of
Uh-huh.
my names.
Oh, hold on. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
So I did my homework.
What I would do is I would go back and rate them 1 to 5, 1 worst, 5 best, and then only pick ones that are 4 and above.
Okay.
And then work them back that way, because otherwise that list is too long for you and it'll overwhelm people, anybody who you share it with. It doesn't overwhelm me. I've got lists.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling you could handle it.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, prioritize for your own self. It's better to do that. Okay, let's name storm. You ready?
Got it. Yep.
Our first name storming, Amy. Name storm. Here we go.
I love your light bulbs.
Oh, thank you. Here we go. We're name storming. I love it. Okay, what's a name you got?
So, gosh, I have so many. Married Lee was one of them. Marriedly.
Married lead.
Married Lee. Marriedly.
What is that?
Married Lee. Just
Marry.
Married.
IED.
Getting married, right?
Oh.
Married Ly.
Marriedly. Is it available?
It is available.
Did you reserve it?
Not yet.
Reserve it.
But I have a list of 250.
Reserve it. I mean, like, this is good. So marriedly. So everybody, this is a wedding planning group. It's moving online, and so marriedly. So what I do is when I come up with names like this, I reserve them right away.
Okay.
So never hesitate. I mean, my collection of URLs is probably fairly ridiculous, but if I come up with a good name, and Marriedly was one of those like you just came up with, which is like Calendly or other ones that are similar, right? If it's available, take it.
Okay.
That way you lock it down. Always, if it's .com, take it.
Okay.
And once you come down with it, once you figure out the name that you're going to use, try to buy everything in that collection that's like .co, .org. Just buy a few of those, and they all redirect to your site.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
So what else? What else you got?
Wedded Aisle. Bride and groom room, but then I was afraid that may be misleading.
Right. Hold on. Wedded. 2 Ds, right?
WEDDED. Yeah. Wedded Aisle. AISLE.
Yeah.
I was concerned with that one though, just because I'm not that aisle is a terribly difficult word to spell, but that was a little bit of a concern. Like this most simple.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's take wed. All right, we got wed, and then what can we add to that? Like wed.
I even thought about wedcast, like instead of broadcast, wedcast.
Wed.
That's not available. Wedcast.com is not available.
Wedcast. Wed. Yeah.
But I also was thinking about like puns, right? Punny stuff like not time.
Not time like this?
Mm-hmm.
It's a negative though, not.
Right.
That's the only issue. Even though I know it's tying a knot or getting hitched or whatever. Not time.
I do view. That was one of the ideas. Oh, I could go on forever. Wedful yours.
So I'm gonna work with you in the future. You got great names here. I do view. Okay, so let's go with this. I do. What else can we put? I do. Is I do available?
No.
That's a good one.
It is a good one. I actually found a competitor already. It's ido.tv, but they're not. It's not. I have a differentiator, right? Like my proper.
Sure, yeah, I'm not, we don't, yeah, that's great, but I do. So they have ido.tv. Is there any other ido?
Well,
they're already doing what you're doing, so that's no good. Okay.
All of those are, yeah.
They're doing what you're going to be doing. Okay, I do. So let's not do I do then, because that's too close.
Said yes was one of them that I wrote down.
What is it?
Said yes.
Said yes.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that saidyes.com is available, but I really went through and just brainstormed and just put down everything I could think of that was related to what were the topic. And ideal knot was one of them, perfect knot, virtual knot. And I really stayed with that one for a little while just because of the knot.com. And that's such a streamlined website.
I like yes, right? What your yes is a good one, like yes, right? Yes, said yes, wed yes.
Oh, I like that.
I did too. I like wed yes a lot. At least first blush, right? I never get attached to these things, but I think you may have something with yes, because it's so positive. It's yes, right? It's good. It makes you smile.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Yes.
You said yes. Wed yes. Wed yes. What else can we do with?
I also thought about not gathered, right? Like again with the not gathered, just because of the not gathering together, or distanced. What was the I had another one that was really good too. Shared vows. Sharedvows.com is available.
I was trying to get yes in here, but again, it's not yes, not.
That might be catchy, depending on tagline.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's catchy. It's not going to be forgotten, right?
Right. There was one that was so good, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, you got to write these down.
I do. It's on a short list. I just got to find the short list because everything's crazy.
They'll go away.
Oh, Wedding Apart. Weddingapart.com is available.
But it's really about being together.
Right.
So
while we're apart.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. The message is not going to help you there.
Right. I also, there are some others that are not .com. I was going to ask your advice on that. Like weddingon.site is available, which would be like wedding on site, but it's not .com. It's on site.
That works. What is it?
Wedding on .site.
That's creative.
I try. And then Weddingly Studio. Oh, sayidoday.com that's available. Sayido.com. I like that a lot too. That was one of my shortlisted ones so far.
Sayido.com, but it's day, right? Say I day.
Sayido day.
The challenge with that is that there's like Women's Day. There's all these days, and so Sayido Day sounds to me like it's a national holiday or something.
It should be.
Every day.
Every day is a national holiday.
Every day is I say I do day.
That's true. Say you do day.
So wedding on site is interesting. .site, of course, it's wedding on site.
Wedcompany.com is available too. WEDD company.com.
2 Ds, unfortunately. So when I look at these, .com's always my first, but there's so many now, and so many people doing creative things like wedding on site or .on site. Is that you can register .co and .tv or the two other ones in that order. And unless you're doing something like wedding on site, so you can always use .co if it's available. instead of a .com. And many people have done that. And so that's like the second, and then the third is like .tv. And then the creative stuff with wedding.site, right? Ultimately, people are going to find it, and you're going to be marketing through social media and other channels, so they're going to get to you not necessarily through your URL. So it doesn't have the same level. You just have to be excited about the name and like the name. Do you have and you have a lot of great options here, right?
Yeah, like 250.
If you rate those though 1 to 5 and pick the 4 and above, and then rate those 1 to 10, and then pick the ones that you'll get to 3.
I mean, I've given you like my favorites already. You know, they're up here pretty much so far.
Do you have a designer for a logo, or what are you doing for a logo?
I don't yet. I haven't even. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of if you don't have a particular designer, trying 99 Designs.
Okay.
You can put a creative brief up on what you're looking for. I usually do about $500 for the logo, and it's a little more than their bottom line, so you get a higher quality designer. But you can get like 100 to 200 designers to come up with logo concepts. You don't have to buy any if you don't find one you like. But along the way, you can give them creative direction, which helps them kind of refine. You rate them as you go. So you have to be actively involved. I'm very involved whenever I do one of those. And I don't have another designer of mine do the logos, and I'll throw them out there to 99 Designs. It's a good way to get some different ideas that you might not get. You do have to be careful though, because what happens is other designers start following the lead designer.
Yeah.
So designing like that instead of giving you new, fresh ideas. So sometimes I'm a little slow to give feedback, but I've found that it's a really good place to get some logos from a lot of different designers.
Okay, I'll check that out. I've bought logos a couple of times on Etsy, just based on the reviews of designers, and I found a couple on there and a couple on Fiverr.
Yeah, totally. But it's a competition with 99 Designs.
Got it.
You don't have to choose one.
Okay. I will
you're not beholden to make the purchase if you don't have a logo you don't like.
Got it.
But if there is one and you're totally happy, it's a great way to go.
That's awesome.
You'll love it.
So it's kind of like crowdsourced or whatever. I mean, it's
99 Designs, and 99 Designs does crowdsources, but they've got a great collection of designers, and they do websites, and they do a lot of stuff now. Before they started pretty much as logos, but now it's expanded dramatically, and it's a great place to go.
Perfect.
Do this with ease and quickly. Okay, Carrie, I think that you are on your way, and you are serious. Now you just got to get Andrew as serious as you.
Definitely. Oh, he will be. I can't. I have no doubts that he'll be very excited and be ready to be on board with it.
That's great. Well, I wish you the best of luck. You have phenomenal idea here, and I think that I love your energy behind it, and then the way you even set this up so we come back today after coaching yesterday to make sure you just get some more thoughts on this. But you have everything it takes now, and you have the ability to make this happen, and so I look forward to seeing that your business grow, and let's stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You have a fabulous weekend.
You as well.
Now, that was an example. Carrie is an example of a hobbyist. Had a hobby on the side. She's been doing arts and crafts, and has been providing custom stuff to weddings and doing different things, and was looking to start the business and make it a real business. And now moving forward and turning that into a real business. So your hobbies, whatever that is out there that you're doing that is something that you're passionate about, excited about, could be arts and crafts, could be making websites, it could be taking photos, whatever it is for you, you can turn that into a business. And Carrie is living proof of that as she goes forward today. She has a regular job as well, and she's moving it forward. So pretty exciting to see that happen. And I'm really excited for you, Carrie, and your husband, Andrew. Amy, what else do we got? We got some more questions?
We do. We have some questions that came in through WhatsApp because people knew that they couldn't meet us during the hour.
Anybody wants to send a question? 202-442-7089. Text your question.
Okay, here we go.
These questions keep getting longer, Amy. I'm considering investing in a friend's business. I understand his business model, but I'm unable to put my hands on the top 5 questions, areas I should understand before starting this journey with him. Also, what is my role as an investor in this business, and how can I follow to ensure the funds are being utilized properly? Okay, wow. 5 questions you want, huh? Okay. Okay, let's do this. So, as an investor, what you want to do is you want to, again, I'm focused on character. So I want to know the person that I'm investing in has the kind of character I'm looking for, that they have the drive and ability to execute on their vision. So it really comes down to execution. So again, ideas are proprietary, execution is, ideas are open source, execution is proprietary. It's all in the execution. So you as an investor want to have the confidence, number one, that this team can execute on their vision, on their business. And that would mean even if they're in business and it's growing, you like the business model and you're seeing customers adopt, and you want to be sure that they have the capacity to scale that, or that that person who is in charge, who's the visionary, has the ability to understand their role and their strengths and let somebody else come in and run the business if necessary. So you have to have coachable businesses. They have to be able to take action and execute. So coachability is something I would be testing them on their ability to take advice, listen to what you're saying. So again, it's a character issue. You're going to be wanting to interview these entrepreneurs on their character, the capacity to execute, how coachable they are, and how well they take action. So I like to test entrepreneurs. And so I've done some investing in the past, looking to do some investing in the future. And I'm always looking for making sure that they take action. So giving them in between these interviewing periods before the actual investment takes place, I'm giving them a few things to work on and test their ability to come back and how well they take action. Do they go above and beyond? I'm looking for people who are hungry, who are driven, who aren't going to give up. I'm looking for people like Carrie who don't sleep because they're so excited about their idea and they come up with 150 names in one night because they're energized to move things forward. That's the kind of energy you're looking for. That's the kind of determination you're looking for. The only way I've found to figure that out is by testing them and looking in their eyes. You can see a lot by looking in people's eyes as you talk to them. So you definitely want to look into their eyes and be sure that what they're saying matches what they're doing. As an investor, I would ask them questions about how are they going to spend the money. So they should have a plan. If they're asking you for money, whatever amount that is, 50,000, 100,000, 5,000, doesn't matter. They need to be able to tell you how they're going to spend that money. Now, if that money is being spent on areas that are for their salary or for a majority of it for marketing and promotions and not into developing the product or for driving revenue, then you have to look at that and then reevaluate based upon where they're spending their money. But the money should go to make sure that they're happy and comfortable, but also it should be driven on driving revenue as fast as possible, as you know, as an investor. But you want to verify and validate that they understand that and that that's where they're going. You want to see if they have a background. What's their background in what they're doing? Why are they passionate about it? What track record do they have? You want to understand who's on their team and what value they're bringing. You want to understand distribution of ownership up to this point. Don't get into a situation where you've got somebody who's already distributed 30%, 40% of their business to family and friends for nothing, and you're coming in for your investment. So those are the things, those are the most important things I look for. If you're comfortable with that's based upon you being comfortable with the business model and believing that there's potential. It's really all in the team's capacity to execute. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, then it's not an investment. You want to, as an investor, take a board position, and that's one way you can keep track of their progress. I've trained a lot of investors, and I've trained a lot of businesses on how to work with investors. But from an investor standpoint, my advice to you is you really have to realize that this money is lost. That's how I look at it. So from an investment standpoint, it's lost money. And that what I've seen are a number of investors, particularly aspiring investors, crush the business because they get too involved. They just put too much pressure on the business builders, the entrepreneurs themselves, the founders, and the founders start rebelling. And when that happens, it's really pretty much impossible to turn that around unless you remove all of them and bring new people in, which means your odds of success are just decreasing daily. So you as an investor want to be more of a coach, advisor, support, pulling in your networks to support that business. So it is there is value from the entrepreneur side. I'd be having the entrepreneurs understand and interview you on what you're bringing beyond money. So you might want to share that as well with your potential investment, what you bring beyond money, because those networks you have are value and can help accelerate your positioning going forward. I would also be, focusing on revenue, growing and increasing revenue with whatever investment you have, and then two, as you go and as that revenue starts increasing, helping those entrepreneurs position for the next round of funding, because that's going to be a critical piece if they're getting funding now. I think that pretty much covers it right there. I hope that helps. Whoever asked that question, thank you. You got another one, Amy? Maybe. How can I determine the worth of my visitors, users, and customers' worth? How can I determine the worth of my visitors, users, and customers? Okay. Everybody has a different kind of value you're going to put on those visitors. Some people, those visitors are there. You're getting advertising, right, from those visitors. You're getting money from customers. So that's the value. There can be a lifetime value to that customer, so you can project out a lifetime value on that customer if they're repeatable customers. I think what happens here, and if I'm reading between the lines, and I'm not hearing it firsthand, and I can't see who asked this question, you don't really want to focus on the numbers you've got in terms of people following you, the visitors. You want to focus on conversion. If you're trying to sell something, it's all about conversion. You could have, I love when people say, I've got 10,000 followers. I'm like, how many of those people actually engage and post and do anything? No one. So you don't really have active, engaged people. And so I think the numbers are not as important as it is your ability to convert, the numbers of people you can convert either into customers or take the action you want to take. Then you can start rating their value. But just having 10,000 followers, 10,000 friends, or I found out the other day I reached my limit, 5,000 friends on Facebook. It doesn't mean anything, right? You don't let your identity get attached to that and have like, I have all these friends or I've got all these people following me. You've got to convert those people into either doing an action step you want or turning them into customers. And then you can evaluate their value. But just having people following you or liking you or friending you is not the answer. The answer is in the conversion when you get to the point where you want to convert. And to do that means you have to make calls to action. You have to create a compelling reason, a compelling and valuable proposition that gets them to act and move from where they are currently, much more passive in their experiences on the internet. Another question. I've been struggling with my investor to come to an understanding of my business break-even point. Can you help me out with examples? Can we go see that one more time? I've been struggling with my investor to come to an understanding of my business break-even point. So this is interesting. You as the entrepreneur, you can talk about your break-even point, but your job is to create that break-even point and to create that revenue and drive it as fast as possible. My first reaction to this question is to stop talking and start doing. Your investor may be frustrated with you. If you're having any tension with your investor, he may be frustrated with the lack of progress you're making. I'm reading between the lines here again. But what I'm saying is you as the entrepreneur, show where the break-even point is. Just projecting it it's a guess. You don't know. You have no idea. And so there's no way to know what that, you can project what that break-even point is, but unless you're generating the revenue, creating the sales, seeing the money come in, and then understanding what the profit margins are and how to reinvest that money back into the business, and how much money that has to be reinvested, then it's going to take 3 times as long as you think. Number one, so it's 3 times as long. And if the investor is telling you, well, I think it's 3, I think you're being too optimistic. I think it's 3 times longer. He's right. Consistently, over and over and over again, it's always 2 to 3 times longer. So I always go with 3 now. I've tried to change that universal rule, but I can't do it yet. I haven't figured it out yet. I will one day. And so the only way I figured out to do it is to prove it, show it, make it happen. And so for you, I'd stop talking. I'd start showing when that break-even point is. If you're not selling, if it's an idea and the investors put money into it, compromise. Say, okay, and agree with the investor. Okay, we'll go with that projection, especially if you think it's a little too conservative for you. But then prove it. Prove to him it's a different number. So use that discussion and that number that's an arbitrary number that's picked out of thin air that doesn't have a lot of meaning, and then go prove how quickly you can create that break-even point. It's all in your action. Again, it's execution. Make it happen. Find a way to accelerate it and show that investor and make that investor happy and turn them around so that they now go, okay, I believe you now. I believe what you're saying in terms of what you believe we can achieve. But actions speak louder than words. Stop talking, start doing. Okay, another question. Under what conditions should a social startup scale up? Under what conditions should same question twice. What should a social startup scale deep? Under what condition? Okay, so a social entrepreneur in a social startup is a startup, right? The difference is you're doing good while doing well. That's the kind of thought behind this. And so if you've got a social startup, the time to scale up is when you're starting to see growth and you're starting to see traction. You're starting to see people interested in what you're doing. I've had businesses where one year were zeros, next year it's 800% growth. Then next year it's 1200% growth, backwards hockey stick. That's when you start scaling. You know, because you see what's happening. The trend lines are there. People are adopting what you're selling or what you're putting out there or what you're sharing or delivering. So scaling becomes much easier because all of a sudden you're like, whoa, we're going. And so that's when you scale. You've got to build that traction though, and you've got to move that to that place. And that's the hard work. And that's this whole idea of no overnight successes. It may take you a year and all of a sudden you're going to go like this. So scaling happens when you start seeing scaling happen. It takes off. The way to make that happen is to provide a valuable, compelling product or service that the market responds to and then wants more of. And then pays you for it, of course, and is willing to pay you for that. And so that's when you scale. I always try to go deep in terms of whatever I'm working on. So I think that deep and scale kind of can go together because it's very deep to me means really focused. Really focused means you're going deep into this area of expertise or specific market segment. So the more focused you can be, the deeper you can go, the more likely you are to scale with whatever it is you're doing. And once you see that start taking off, that's when you know it's time to scale. That's how you do it. And we've talked about it over and over on the show. Many guests have talked about it who are entrepreneurs, successful, growing and supporting other entrepreneurs. They talk about when you find flow. This is important. So you really want to get centered on this and understand. You could be going along and you're moving forward, but all of a sudden when you get into flow, it starts moving faster, right? It's almost effortless. It doesn't mean less work. It's probably more work. It is generally more work because you're in a flow and more things are happening. What you want to do is get into that flow and ride that flow as long as you can because it doesn't last forever. It's like, there it is, go. Follow that flow. And that will be another guide to help you understand when to start scaling, that you'll know the difference between having to struggle and in the flow. You'll know the difference. It'll just be like, wow, we're in a flow. When you're in a flow, it's a sign. You're moving forward. You're getting adoption. People are starting to pay attention. You're starting to generate revenue, and that's when you scale. Well, Amy, who's our winner today? Who's our winner of one-on-one with me, like Carrie?
Yeah, no, that's okay. I have the name. It is, one
I
second.
know you have the name.
I know, I just really did have it. Mushungol M.
Mushungo M.
M.
Congratulations, Mushungo M. You are going to receive 1 hour of one-on-one coaching with me. And if it goes anywhere half as well as it went with Carrie, we're going to transform your life. It's that simple. All right, folks. I'm sad. I'm getting sad. We're going to make an announcement tomorrow on what's next. We don't know exactly yet. We're still mulling it around, but we got some ideas. We started drawing on the future here, but we are down and done with day 30. One more day to go of 31 days to Padded 2. I want to thank everybody for being here. We'll be back same time, same place. See you tomorrow.
You got to never ever give up. Never ever give up. Never ever give up. Never ever give up.
Believe in yourself and you'll go far.
All for everyone. Show